Welcome everyone to the latest episode of the Custom Lobby. I'm JT, and with me, as always, is Justin. Today, we're going to
What's
be
up?
talking. Yes, Justin. Dude, today we have a really awesome topic, and I just kind of wanted to put a little bit of a disclaimer. We are recording this after another podcast where we actually kind of talked about like the latest news in gaming as of early April, late March. We're recording this one after. This one's going to be about our reactions to the Nintendo Direct that just streamed earlier today as of recording. But we're going to be talking about everything that kind of went down, like some of the biggest moments, pricing, some of the new games, along with just our kind of like our history with Nintendo. So we're going to be talking a lot about Nintendo today. That's all we're talking about. Justin, what's your history with Nintendo?
Oh, dude, not that much to be honest. I've pretty much always been a PC gamer. You kind of know this from our history together. But for anyone who doesn't fully know, I mean, I had a Game Boy, played a lot of Pokemon. That's more Game Freak, but Game Boy's Nintendo.
Yeah.
Um, Literally my aside from like everybody had a Wii back in the day. My grandma still has the Wii that we got her, but
Yeah.
yeah, like my first actual Nintendo console that wasn't like provided to me by family was my Switch. So the Switch 2 Direct was like something I was really excited for, like because some of the games that are on here actually are going to be also on the Switch 1. That's something we'll get into hopefully during the pod. So
Yeah, and to kind of share a little bit of my history with Nintendo, I'm kind of like you. I had a Game Boy Advanced, and some of the games that I played on there, I played Pokemon. I was a big Pokemon guy during
huge.
the Emerald, Sapphire, Ruby days. Probably the latest Pokemon that I played to completion was like Diamond and Pearl, and that was kind of, I think, during the transition from Game Boy to DS. But I always played like GameCube and Wii when I was at friends' houses, but I actually never owned a Wii. So many people owned Wiis. I never did, but the games I played on the Wii, of course, were Wii Sports, Classic, Mario Kart, Um, not very good at Smash. I really wanted to be, but I'm not very good at that game. But I actually didn't get to watch the Nintendo Direct because I was working today, but Justin thought it'd be an amazing idea to kind of get my reaction. So he's kind of gonna lay the groundwork, if you will, for what went down and what everyone should kind of know about and take away from this Direct. So Justin, what is the first thing you want to talk about, my friend?
Yeah, dude. So there's a lot to go through. The Verge actually has. We're actually going to see a little bit of that in the background probably later in the pod. But The Verge had like a whole compilation of like all the games that got announced, and
Yeah.
JT actually doesn't know anything about the Direct. I told him to stay off of social media. I was like, dude, I'm just gonna blow your mind with some of this stuff, good and bad. But we'll start with all the good stuff. Starting it off strong. Um, well, actually, we'll start with like what Nintendo's actually producing for this new mainline console, and the first one is actually the one that's on screen playing right now. The first thing that they came out the door with is a new Mario Kart game. Kind of
Okay.
expected, but
Yeah.
this game, dude, has been the talk of the town in terms of like it is a huge departure from what Mario Kart used to be. I know that might be like kind of hard to grasp, but I'll explain in a second. And also is one of the most controversial things to come out of this because of the pricing of this game, which we'll get into a little later, but I just wanted to tease that for now. But this
They
game is
increased
called
the prices?
wait for it, dude.
All right,
It's
all right, all
bad.
right.
It's really bad.
$70 is already a
It is
lot. Okay,
not
all right.
$70.
Oh my. Okay,
Spoiler
all right.
alert, it is more than
Oh my.
$70.
Oh my goodness.
We'll get into it. We'll get into it. I just want to get into the
Right.
good now, but just know we got some spicy stuff coming up later in this episode. So Mario Kart
Sure.
World is a Mario Kart game, except you're not only driving on the tracks and the designated roadways, but you can actually drive pretty much anywhere off map from
So
what it
this is
looks like.
Mario Kart, Mario Kart Horizon, essentially.
Yeah, it's Mario Kart Burnout Paradise, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, yes. Dude. No, I'm looking at some of this gameplay right now. Like Yoshi's literally drove off road and into a river, and then like came back onto the racetrack. Everybody's driving off road. They're bobbing and weaving through busy traffic. Like it actually looks like I'm watching a Need for Speed game right now. But
Yeah,
it's
but it's
Mario Kart.
so
It's cool.
so
It looks really cool. I'm excited for it. I will definitely be picking this up regardless of this egregious price tag.
so it's open world. It's kind of like Forza Horizon,
It's
right? Where
not
like you
open
can kind of
world,
race.
it seems like, but
Okay,
like when you like your racetrack is much more open ended, you know?
that is so strange. I'm not the biggest racing guy, so I probably will need to kind of look at the video or the gameplay. There's a
Yeah.
gameplay trailer, I'm guessing, right?
Actually in the docs, the that yeah, the compilation right there, we won't be on the same page, but you can just like
Yeah, yeah,
maybe keep
yeah.
up, you know? We're kind of doing
No, for
these a
sure.
little bit in order, yeah, just so you for
No, no,
yourself can
yeah,
see.
for
Um
sure.
the next thing I'm excited for and is also a Nintendo product is Pokemon Legends ZA. I know this has already been announced. It was announced during the Pokemon Direct, but it was just like, you know, it's something I'm excited for, and it is an actual Nintendo product launching with the Switch. I actually think it's not launching. Don't quote me on this, but it might not be launching exactly when the Switch comes out, but it is one of the quote unquote Nintendo launch titles. It's definitely something they're advertising to go along with the Switch. But Mario Kart World actually will be bundled with the Switch too. Um, for
Okay. Wow.
a slight premium. We'll get into that when we get into pricing. Yeah, so the Mario Kart World
Okay.
game will actually be
Yeah.
bundled. Pokemon Legends will not be bundled. That's why I think the release dates are different, but it's really close to the release of Switch 2. So it might as well be like a
Yeah.
release title.
That's
Um
pretty exciting.
some third-party games I personally am excited for that are not Nintendo related are Witchbrook, which if you guys have ever heard of Stardew Valley, it's the same developer. So he's a solo dev, except this time he's got some help. And Chucklefish Games is publishing Witchbrook, which is yeah the spiritual successor to Stardew Valley. It's basically like a mix between Hogwarts Legacy meets like the Stardew thing. Like you're just living your life, and except this one you're a college student instead of a full grown adult. So it should be slightly different.
Real quick, Justin,
Yeah,
going
yeah.
back to the Pokemon game, how is that one gonna play?
Oh, that'll be it's a Pokemon Legends title. I don't know if you're familiar with Pokemon Legends.
I don't think I am.
So the other Legends titles are open world Pokemon games. So like Legends Arceus was like you went back in time to like ancient Sinnoh and
Oh,
then like explored the open world and like caught Pokemon in the open world. There was like bosses in certain zones, and when you beat those bosses, you get access to new zones, kind of thing.
gotcha. I'm
Yeah,
so old school. I'm like Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, and then the
yeah,
classic ones, of course, and then the other one is like Detective Pikachu, and even that was a little bit past my, prime
yeah,
Pokemon
dude. We
days
got
as
a
a kid.
boomer gamer over here.
Oh my god, I sound so old and I'm dating myself. But
No.
continue on, continue
No, but
on.
yeah, it's good you brought that up because I'm sure there's some people here that'll be like, yeah, what is Pokemon Legends? I don't even know what that means. Yeah, it's so they're not mainline Pokemon games. They're definitely side projects. But Legends ZA. So previously, Pokemon Legends games were not really remakes. They were like re-renditions of regions we've already explored. They're just open world. So like, the first one was Johto, Pokemon Legends. Wait, no, the first one was Sinnoh, and then the second one was Johto. So like Gen 2, and Sinnoh is Gen 4, Diamond and Pearl. But it was like back in time. You went back in time to like ancient Johto and ancient
Mhm.
Sinnoh. But in this game, it's actually modern again, but it's just the one main city from Gen 5, which is X and Y, Pokemon X and Y, which is why it's
Okay.
called Legends Z and A. It's like an extension of those. And so like they basically the entire map is literally one giant city. Like it's huge, but it's open world.
Interesting.
So like think like kind of the Spider-Man games, but there's Pokemon everywhere. Is basically what it's going
That's
to be like.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
All right.
yeah. So anybody wants to check that out, the links will be provided down below. That game was more for the Pokemon Direct, so I won't like super deep dive it. One more game I'm super excited for, which I don't know if JT's ever heard of this, but Professor Layton and the New World of Steam. Anybody knows Professor Layton? Like classic old stuff. It's not a launch title and it's a third party. It's a third party game, but I'm really excited for it.
I vaguely heard about it. I'll have to do more research on that one.
That is
What kind of a
okay.
game is it?
It is. It's kind of like, and the last game that came out for this was on the DS, I believe.
Oh man, they're bringing
It's like
back
it's a puzzle adventure
the older
game,
one.
But this
Okay.
one, it's still gonna have those aspects, but it looks to be more story focused.
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
really into puzzle
seeing
adventure games. Yeah,
you love seeing old IPs return, and especially when it's unexpected. I don't know if how expected this one was, but there's been a couple of games the past couple years where it's like, oh, they're making another one, and
yeah.
you love to see it, honestly.
No, it's awesome. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely some stuff here that's mostly gonna be like geared toward the Nintendo audience, but the last time fans of Professor Layton even got a game was like I'm just looking it up briefly was in the DS era, not even the 3DS
Yeah,
era.
yeah, that was a long time
2007.
ago.
So yeah,
That was a long time ago. Yeah.
this may be a good time to jump in. You know,
Yeah. No, definitely. And just because like I was never the biggest Nintendo guy, doesn't mean I'm not like a fan. I just kind of some of you might know that I just kind of grew up with Xbox and PlayStation, and as of late I've just been, I've been following those consoles and recently made the big switch to PC. So, I've grown up mostly with Xbox, but then, I played a little bit of PlayStation probably starting with the 3 onward, and then now PC. So Nintendo, it was always been kind of more casual. So I even have a Switch Lite actually. I don't have the full Switch, but the Switch Lite I got to play games like Metro Prime or
okay, yeah,
Metroid
yeah.
Prime. So,
I also only have a Switch 2. I don't have I mean a Switch a Switch Lite, not the Switch 2. I don't have a
that's
regular
coming
Switch.
out.
Yeah, that's coming out. Yeah,
Yeah,
dude, I got
yeah,
early
for sure.
access to the Switch too, guys. It's just called the Steam Deck.
Oh, the superior and now I sound like you when I was complaining about you. But yeah, Steam Deck is the best. But
No,
yeah.
actually, I would say the Steam Deck was superior to the Switch, but the Switch 2 definitely has a lot more going for it. We're gonna get it, oh, man. Just a
We'll get into it.
little
We'll
bit
get
of a
into it.
brief thing, dude.
Yeah.
They're coming. It's gonna be an L. It's They're launching it again with an LCD screen, so there's probably gonna be a Switch 2 OLED.
Oh my,
Yeah,
why didn't they just start
that's
off
what
with
I'm.
that? Well, I guess
That's
just
what I'm
the price
saying.
maybe. Maybe the
Maybe the
price.
price, but like
Yeah.
we're it's 2025, guys, and I know
It
that's
is
kind of a tired
2025.
meme, but
Yeah,
like
yeah,
I
yeah,
understand pricing, but also like I don't want to hear this excuse from people who are gonna glaze this up because some of
yeah,
these games are gonna be like a fifth of the
yeah,
price of the console, guys. It's insane.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm just gonna start listing off some other third party games, and one of them I think you're gonna be really interested in. Maybe two of these. But
Okay.
Hyrule Warriors is coming out, which is it's set before the most recent Legend of Zelda game, so it's like a little bit of a prequel, and
Okay.
it'll be set up like it looks a lot like Fire Emblem, like the open world Fire Emblem games if you've ever seen those.
Mhm.
Dusk Bloods, which is FromSoft's new Souls-like experience, and it's going to be a Switch 2 exclusive. So sorry for anybody who wanted
What?
that. Yeah, Dusk
What?
Bloods is a
Oh
Switch 2
my.
exclusive, and it's a Souls-like game from FromSoft. Man, does it look good, dude! Some of the reactions I watched some reaction content from the guys at GameSpot, and they were going crazy. They were like, "Exclusive!" Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Yeah.
I'm excited for that too.
Honestly, I find that very. I don't know how it would control. Like, I can't even imagine. Like, I just from my
Exactly.
little
Imagine it
knowledge
with
of the
the
Switch.
little
Yeah.
like you disconnect your Joy Cons and you're playing. You're like punching the air because you died so many times. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah,
I
and then
think it'll
is
be
it like
great.
will it play better when it's like docked to the TV, or will it play better portably, or will it play just as well? Both, it's interesting. I'm curious to see how it plays
It's
out.
actually really interesting you bring that up. They're actually talking right now in the direct about how this game's going to have HDR support and also feature 120 frames per second on many titles. So
Mhm.
not every title, but I think this is just undocked. So like you'll be seeing frames above 60 FPS undocked, which is like
Wow.
this is a huge upgrade. I feel bad for Switch owners. Like you just have obsolete software at this point. This is an actual
Yeah,
direct competitor to the Steam Deck. It actually really is. And I'm
yeah,
a huge Steam fan. So
yeah,
like just seeing this is it's healthy, it's good competition. People are actually getting something out of
yeah,
Nintendo. We're getting a lot of trade-offs. We'll get to
yeah.
that. I keep teasing it,
Uh,
but it's
no,
good. It's
nothing.
looking good.
Nothing to feel bad about, like, original Switch owners, in my opinion, because they got some really nice exclusive games on that console for the while that it's been around, you
Yeah,
know?
and I mean
So,
it's definitely also
it's time
had
for an
like the
upgrade.
shelf life is really long. Like people,
Yeah,
I'm not trying to like totally rag on people who own a Switch. We own a Switch, but like
of
people who
course,
are
of
huge
course.
Nintendo fans, like this
Yeah,
is a huge upgrade. I'm sure if you already own a Switch, you are going to be owning a Switch too. So,
yeah.
and there's even more reasons to do so for those of us that were skeptical, is what I'm saying. Because
Mhm.
now this, to be honest, like playing Pokemon on the Switch Lite is very laggy. So I'm really excited to be playing
Yeah.
a potentially the next main series Pokemon game on the Switch too when that comes out. Next on the list, JT, um, something you may be really excited for, but Marvel Comic Invasion is coming to the Switch too.
I saw that. It's like a 2D brawler, kinda a little
Yes.
bit, pixelated, kinda similar in the same vein of Shredder's, Revenge, I believe, like the TMNT game. Um, I saw that, but I think they released the trailer before the direct, I think, correct? So
Yes, but
they just had it in
yeah,
their showcase?
I will like
Yeah.
when I'm bringing up these third party games, many of these have already been
Oh,
announced
okay,
or will
gotcha.
already be. Remember, there's actually only 5 games out of this long list that I have that are going to be new games that you haven't heard of.
Okay, well, I
Yeah.
hope all of those 5 games are, like, big Switch 2 exclusives or something, 'cause, yeah, I would hope.
Womp womp. That's what I'll say.
Oh
we
my god,
definitely
oh my
we definitely got
god.
some good stuff. I'm not trying to like Mario Kart World was the biggest one, and we got that out of the way already. So if you're expecting anything more than Mario Kart World,
Well, Metroid Prime 4, I would hope.
that one was already. That's what I'm saying. It's not
Yeah,
new. It's not.
yeah,
It's not a new thing. Something we already knew was coming.
yeah,
That's
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 true,
what I
but
mean.
I would hope that maybe they showed a little bit more or talked about it a little more, I don't know, they did
Yes, yes, we did
talk
get a
about that
little bit
recently.
more. Yeah.
Okay, okay, cool, but, going back to the last game that you mentioned,
Marvel Comic Invasion.
yes,
Yeah.
that looked really promising. Is that exclusive or is that multi-platform?
I'm actually not sure. I don't think it would be exclusive because it got announced before the Switch too.
Yeah, it might not be, but
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that. I'm curious the price on that. My only thing about that game is that there are some cool characters on it, and then there's some characters that like people don't really know about, which is not really a problem because with Marvel Rivals you have the success, and then that got characters really popular, like Jeff the Land Shark, for
Hmm.
example. But it's like I wonder how much this will resonate with people. I don't know if it'll sell as well as Shredder's Revenge because there's a lot of TMNT fans that like that type of genre, but it's like how many Marvel fans will like that genre, you know? So I'm really curious as to how it'll play out, but that seems like a perfect game for the Switch 2 if we're being honest.
Yeah, it's
So,
a Switch. It's not a Switch 2 exclusive, and it comes out winter 2025. It will just be on
should be
Switch 2.
fun.
Yeah,
Should be fun. Be a good time. Add crossplay. I'm always I'm
of
always championing crossplay.
course. Some other third-party games that you may know, JT. Yakuza Zero Director's Cut is coming to Switch. Project 007.
What? A
Everyone's
new double oh
infamous.
7 game?
I don't think it's new. Uh,
Oh, interesting.
Project 007 IO's Interactive's yet to be fully unveiled James Bond 2 project. Oh, so yeah, it is new. It's not yet
Okay,
fully
because
unveiled. It has just been announced that it's coming to Switch 2. Well,
okay,
not yeah.
okay, because yeah, because there is an IO 007 game, so I guess that is yeah, that's the announcement that it's coming to Switch too. That
Yes.
game was announced a year or so ago, so it's been a while. Interesting that for Switch they just have the announcement, "Hey, it's coming to Switch." I mean, to showcase the power of the Switch 2, I'm guessing, but I wonder how that's gonna turn out for the other platforms, you know? Because even though the Switch 2 sounds powerful, it's still I I would assume not as powerful as some of the other consoles and PCs, so
Yeah,
I
it
wonder
definitely
how
it
it's
has
all gonna
it
play.
has like 4 times more of the storage space on release. It's definitely a huge upgrade. It's also like I
Yeah.
don't know the exact number, but from what I was remembering looking at it, it's like 10-15% larger than the Switch. Like
Ooh,
it's a little larger, probably about the size of the Steam Deck now.
okay.
Yeah,
I love the
so
Steam Deck.
yeah.
Yeah.
It should be and size actually does mean they can fit a little bit more beefy hardware in there. I don't know exactly what the specs are. I don't even know if they've been publicly released, but I'm
I thought you were
sure.
gonna
I'm
say
sure.
size matters.
Size. It does. It does actually. When you're
Yeah,
talking
it does
hardware,
a little bit. It
but
does a little
typically
bit,
you want
yeah.
like the
Yeah.
most processing power and like the smallest thing possible. So but that didn't
Yeah.
really work out for the Switch.
Yeah.
um, Elden Ring is getting ported to Switch too, which I mean,
Not the biggest
they're already
surprise.
getting their own Souls-like game from FromSoft. That sounds funny.
Yeah.
From Soft.
Yeah. Yeah.
From
Yeah.
Soft. Yeah, but Elden Ring coming to the Switch. Yeah, not a surprise. It's basically Skyrim at this point. They're gonna re-release that game like 20 times.
Yeah,
Um,
if you can get Elden Ring on Steam Deck, there's no reason why you can't get it on Switch too. So that's kind of
yeah.
how I see it.
And this was actually a surprise for me, but Hogwarts Legacy is going to be ported to Steam Deck. I mean, not
Also,
Steam Deck to Switch too. Man, we're
Switch,
talking about
my
all the
bad. Yeah,
portables today.
yeah, I know. Yeah, yeah, it's coming to DS. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
no, again, for me, not a huge surprise because all those are playable on Steam Deck, which is a portable PC essentially. So it's good to know that Steam Deck, the
Steam
Switch
Deck,
2,
Switch 2.
the
Yeah,
Switch
dude.
2
We got Steam on
will
the brain.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, no, that's cool. That's exciting for Nintendo fans, people who only have Nintendo hardware. So
Yeah, they're
that'll be
getting a
cool.
lot of games. They're getting a lot of games ported over. A lot of these are third-party games. Not a lot of first-party content on in this whole direct, actually, believe it or not. But I mean, I'm just gonna start listing off some more stuff if you're down. But those were ones
Yeah,
that I thought you would be interested in.
yeah,
But
for
they
sure.
got Civ 7 is coming to Switch too. Big
Oh, that's
surprise there.
surprising.
Yeah, very
That's
surprising.
very surprising.
Super Mario Jamboree, Legends of Zelda Breath of the Wild, and Tears of the Kingdom. That's pretty obvious. Those games will actually
Yeah.
be out on launch day. Those are launching with the game. Civ 7 is
Are
also
they
launching with the console.
are the like Zelda and the old Mario games, are they like if you own the original one, you're good, or are they like an upgrade or like
You know,
up res
knowing
or something?
Nintendo, I don't think so. However, there was a section in the direct that I don't have the timestamp off the top of my head. They basically were talking about how you can sync your data with your first Switch to the Switch 2. So I would assume that also means any like online content you have. So if you purchase the game digitally, right? You
Yeah.
it should just port over cuz I think you can just use Switch cartridges in the Switch 2. I don't know why you wouldn't be able to.
Yeah, I don't know why you
Yeah.
wouldn't either. So, and they're for the most part kind of, consumer friendly, I would say. So,
Yes.
I would find it a little bit hard to believe that if you own the game already,
But
you
for
would
your
need to
digital
repurchase
content, I
it.
mean,
Yeah.
it
Yeah,
apparently you
I
can
hope
just sync
so.
your account and you'll have
Yeah,
your products. So
cool,
I
cool. That's
though
okay.
some of these games being so these are available as both upgrade packs if you own the Switch 1 version or as standalone additions to the Switch 2. This is according to Polygon. So some of these have different dates that are different than the launch date. So it's like these games will be available but not available on launch is what it looks like. Like Story of Seasons Grand Bazaar is an example of a game that will be on Switch 2 but not until August 28th.
Interesting.
Yeah, so that was a good point you bring up and luckily I had it right there for everyone to see.
Yeah,
But
yeah, perfect.
yeah, so they're basically like patches. They talked about it a lot as it being like patches.
Yeah,
Where like you just if you have the product, it merges over. But not everything on the Switch will be on Switch 2 right away. And
correct.
I'm sure some stuff won't even be on Switch 2. That'll probably be more of an issue when we get there kind of thing.
Yeah,
Um but yeah, there's some crazy there's just so many games that are coming out. EA Sports titles. I think NBA and what's the yeah Madden NFL also coming. Hades
yeah.
2, Enter the Gungeon, a new game that got announced called Fast Fusion. I don't even know how to describe that to you, but anybody
Feel
watching
like
will see
it's
it.
in motorcycles?
No,
No.
it's a racing
Okay.
game, but
It is a
it
racing game.
looked
Okay.
crazy. It looked like Tron, dude. It was crazy. Maybe I'll show
Okay.
you the trailer for it after this or something.
Yeah,
But
okay. For sure, for
Cyberpunk
sure.
2027 Ultimate Edition is coming to the Switch too.
What?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Ultimate Edition?
yeah,
So is that okay, interesting.
if they think that can run on the Switch too, I think we're looking good for hardware, even though not everything was totally fully revealed. Borderlands
Yeah.
4 is coming to the Switch too.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah, good
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. Yeah. That's promising.
Final Fantasy 7 remake. Or
What?
yeah, is coming to the Switch too.
Yo, wait. It's coming to the Switch before Xbox. What an L to X. Dude, I can't wait. One of our upcoming episodes is gonna be about hot takes, just a little preview for y'all, but,
Yeah,
be ready for that one because I have some stuff to say.
some
Just
spicy stuff about
some
Microsoft
spicy
and
stuff.
Xbox. Yeah,
Yes, yeah, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, but that is absolutely insane. They are getting Final Fantasy VII. That requires some hardware. It's big. It's a big
yeah,
game, and if they're gonna put all 3 versions, because there's Final Fantasy VII's, like, made into 3 games,
yeah,
um, that's insane. That's wild. I'm surprised. That's, like, one of the biggest surprises for me.
yeah. It's pretty wild. Fortnite, not as wild.
Yeah, isn't
Some
it
people
already
like
on the
Fortnite.
Switch?
Yeah, yeah, it is. So
Yeah,
not a
yeah.
surprise. First Squadron Phoenix. I might have missed this in the direct, but for people who are
Yeah.
into that kind of thing, it's coming to Switch too.
Okay.
It's I guess it's a sequel to Star Fox, like a First Squadron.
Okay, cool.
Uh, yeah. So Good Night Universe. I have no idea what that is, guys. I have no idea what that is, but it's coming to Switch too.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be completely
Okay.
honest with you. Some of these games, I'm just like, I must have just blanked out because I do not know what they are. But I'm sure somebody out there
Honest
really wants to play Goodnight Universe, and I'm sorry for you.
honestly, Justin,
Not
so
sorry
far
for
what
you,
you
but sorry that I don't know what it is.
I know you're starting off with the cool announcements, right? And I understand that, but what you're telling me so far has me kind of excited and like considering getting a Switch 2, which is funny because it's like I have a PC. Why would I need another console, right? Unless
Yeah,
there's like exclusive games. And there are a couple of Nintendo Switch exclusive games, but these are some cool announcements, man. And I
yeah,
wasn't
it's
looking for a new
fantastic. Plus, you
console,
have another
but
reason to play some of these games that are only going to be on Switch when you already have the hardware.
yeah,
Yeah. No, this is
promising.
definitely a reason for they're honestly like expanding their audience so much by having all
Putting
these
some of
titles
those,
included on the
yeah,
Switch too. Yeah.
by putting some of the serious ones, like get some JRPGs like Final Fantasy, get Western RPGs like Cyberpunk, and getting an exclusive FromSoft game, I would have never thought would have come to
Yeah.
the Switch.
A,
That's a
a
big pull.
Switch exclusive is just crazy in
Yeah,
general. That isn't like a mainline Nintendo game,
yeah,
let alone a FromSoft game. Like rip to all the
I
Souls
know.
fans that are just like, man, I gotta buy a Switch too now just to play this one game. But
Yeah,
yeah.
but anyways, let's get into some juicy stuff you were talking about. You were hinting at pricing. You were talking
Oh,
about
dude,
there's
I,
some
I,
controversies.
I would love to jump to that, and I'm sorry for sidelining you, but I'm not even through half the games yet. I might just start just dropping more names if you're down.
Okay, yeah, I mean, if they're not the
Yeah,
biggest, I mean, you don't have to name
some of these
all of
are, and
them.
some of them
Okay,
aren't.
okay,
I'm just
for sure,
wanna. I
for
don't.
sure. Okay.
I feel
Yeah,
like I
yeah,
need to
rapid
get
fire.
to some of the. Okay, Hollow
Yeah,
Knight
yeah,
Silk
yeah.
Song, Human Fall Flat 2. I don't know how to pronounce this, but Path of Goddess is the second part of that title, guys. You guys
Okay,
can read
alright,
it. My
okay,
Time at Evershine, Nobunaga's Ambition, crazy. No Sleep for
okay.
Kaname Date. Uh, Something for Tetris. Sonic X Shadow Generations. Star Wars Outlaws
Yeah.
is coming to Switch too.
Oh, that's funny.
Street Fighter
It's not gonna
6.
sell. I'm
Split.
just
Yeah, not
kidding.
gonna sell. This will sell though. Split Fiction is coming to Switch too.
Oh, that will sell. That
That
will
will
sell
definitely
big.
sell and will be
Yeah,
honestly one of the best titles on that because you already know this, but the Joy-Cons function basically as two separate controllers. So like
that's
you
gonna be a
just
good
you just
time.
need the one Switch
Yeah,
with you don't even need to buy
yeah,
any peripheral hardware. You can just out the box play Split Fiction with your two controllers,
that's
which is
exciting.
yeah, or your one controller that splits into two is what I meant to say.
Yeah.
Synth Beasts, which is a monster taming RPG. Reanimal, Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 and 4, all of the IO Hitman games.
That's nuts.
Yep.
Okay.
2 Point
Yeah.
Museum, which is a basically a city builder, but you build a museum like Night at the Museum. It's literally that movie, but a video game.
Okay.
Wild Hearts S,
Okay.
WWE 2K,
Yeah, that's a
and yeah, I
that's
think
one.
that's
Yeah.
that's like that's most of them.
It's a
There's
lot, man.
yeah
That creature taming one sounds interesting. It's kind of like is it kind of similar to like Pokemon slash kind of something like that? Is that
yeah I think
kind of the
that's what it
vibe?
is. I think that's what it
All right.
is. Don't quote me on that. I mean, saying anything's
Kind of
like
like Power
Pokemon
World.
is dangerous.
Yeah,
No, no,
yeah.
no, not like
But
Power.
oh, okay. Well, not with the guns, but like
You
like
can't you
getting
can't
into
bring
like
up Power World in our Nintendo Switch thing. They're gonna sue us.
yeah.
It's over for SJT.
But those are some good announcements. So the first half of that list that you were dropping, I was like, about, but like don't know too much. But like maybe I'll, peek
This
at
this is
it.
probably more for stuff that are people that are like in the Nintendo sphere. A lot of those games I don't really know, but
Yeah.
I'm sure many of you will be excited.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I have a big announcement that goes along with video game titles because I I had to do this one slightly separately
Okay.
just to build up the anticipation.
All right.
So, the Switch 2, very similar to how they've done in the past, where like in on the first Switch you could download Game Boy games, for example.
Yeah.
The Switch 2 is going to be coming with a virtual GameCube,
Whoa. Okay.
and many of the GameCube's games will be coming to Switch, featured on Switch, and they're also releasing a new GameCube controller to celebrate the launch of this new virtual GameCube that will be a part of Switch 2. And one of the launch titles
Whoa.
for the GameCube digital release will be a new Legend of Zelda Wind Waker.
Wow.
Yeah, that was huge. I was like, dude, you literally mentioned like I had a GameCube growing up. Yeah, do you can experience that all again on the Switch 2. You can literally just launch digital copies of GameCube games on your Switch 2 and play them with your little with a GameCube controller, dude.
I actually played GameCube at friends' houses,
Yeah,
but I that's awesome. That's really cool. But okay, wait. Is everyone gonna be able to access this? I'm guessing you're gonna have to pay some type of membership, right?
I assume that it come you'd have to have the Switch Online at least because you need their online
Yeah.
service to even get in their online store. Um,
Hopefully, it's not like PlayStation Plus where you have to get the PlayStation Plus collection, right, with the
yeah,
membership. Otherwise, you can't access these features. It'll be interesting to see how they implement it. But that sounds really exciting, really promising. I'm curious what the catalog is going to look like too.
yeah. I think it currently like if you want to for the Nintendo Online thing, if you want access to NES, SNES, Game Boy, GBA titles, Nintendo 64, Sega Genesis, like all that, if you want it on your Switch One,
Yeah.
it's $50 a year, and I think they're
Woo!
including they're a year. That's
Yeah.
nothing. You know, like,
Oh, a year, a year.
yeah,
Oh, okay, okay,
five
okay.
$50 a year is nothing for
Yeah, yeah.
all of
Wait,
those.
so
And GameCube's being added to that roster, so you get NES, SNES, Game Boy, Game Boy Advance, Nintendo 64, Sega Genesis, and now GameCube games, all for fifty
wait, wait,
dollars
wait,
a
wait,
year.
wait. That's official that it's with that membership, or
I'm reading it from Gizmodo right now. And Nintendo Online subscription costs $20 a year with the expansion pack, $50 a year, which includes all of those virtual game systems. And it looks like the GameCube will be making its debut on the Switch 2 with this service.
nice. That's
Yes.
not bad. And
The
wait,
GameCube controller costs $75 though, so
yeah, that's unfortunately to be expected. But so Switch Online is only 20 a year?
yes.
That's
It's
crazy. I didn't know that.
it's
I
like
I don't
$4 a month and then $20 for yearly. It's a 19.99.
That's wild.
And
I
then
didn't
fifty
realize it
dollars
was
for yeah. It's pretty
that
cheap. I
cheap
think it's lame that you
comparatively.
have to pay.
Yeah.
Many of us, many, I'm also not the most well off person. I'm sure many people watching this aren't either. But it's like you
Yeah.
already pay for internet, you already bought the system, you buy these games, and then another $20 on top of that. Like, it's not a tall order compared to some of the other
Yeah.
BS that's out
Compared
there,
to
but
yeah, compared to the other, some of the
I'd say for
competition.
this, it's definitely a good bang for buck. You get access to like 7 virtual systems for $50 a year, which is like not even $10 a month. Like, I'm not defending it, but I'm also like, this isn't the most
Yeah,
egregious thing to come out of this direct. There, we're
absolutely.
about to get into that actually, but yeah. So I don't know
Yeah, that's
all
a
of the
perfect
GameCube
segue.
titles
Yeah.
coming out, and I don't think you want me to list them all, but yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you're gonna be able to play GameCube games on your Switch too, dude.
No, that's pretty exciting. I'm really looking forward to that. Yeah, no, especially since, like I said, I only really played it at friends' houses, so it'll be nice to kind of go play some of them now that I'm an adult and I have my own time to kind of get into the games more than just playing them at random times, not beating games to completion. So that would be fun.
Yeah.
That's a good reason to pick it
Last
up.
little bit of games here, because I'm sure people want to know what's actually launching with the Switch. and many of them were already mentioned. But the 5 games that are launching with your Switch 2 are Deltarune, Fast Fusion, Mario Kart World, Survival Kids, and Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour, which is it's not even a game. I mean, I think it's a game, but like it's basically just a sim where you dude, how are they going to advertise there's 5 games on launch and it really only be 4? Like I can't.
Wait, wait,
I
wait, wait.
can't let that
So
slide.
yeah, yeah. So the console will only come with Mario Kart, right?
If you buy the bundle, you could buy the Switch itself just standalone. We're going to get into
Gotcha. But
that.
these are the launch titles. Okay,
Yes, these
okay.
are launched.
Can you
They will be available when you buy your Switch on the online store.
go ahead and repeat them one more time?
Deltarune, which is like I think it's the same dev that did Undertale. Fast
Okay, that
Fusion.
means nothing to me, but
Yeah.
I'm curious because I know what Undertale is.
Yeah.
Okay,
Fast Fusion,
okay,
which
okay.
is that
That's the
racing
racing one.
game that looked like
Yeah,
Tron. That was really cool.
yeah.
Mario Kart World,
Okay,
another racing game.
okay.
Survival
That's
Kids, which
what is that?
it's like let me pull it up. Let me pull it up for
For all the adults are like, what?
yeah. It's let me just pull up the reveal trailer and it's
I know
kind
the
of
Nintendo
like
Switch is family friendly, guys. I know it's
yeah, this
family
is
friendly,
definitely a
but
kids
it's like,
game.
yeah, yeah.
It's got a pretty bad like to dislike ratio on the IGN video, but it's a you're basically stranded on an island. It's kind of like like back in the day on the Wii, you could have your own little me character.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like that where you're just stuck on an island with 4 friends, and it's like a super childish survival game kind of thing.
Yeah, and going back, I was gonna say that I understand that it's a family console,
Yeah,
mostly geared toward kids. But people, adults are buying this thing too. And if
yeah,
you want to sell some stuff immediately, you might want to come out with a little more
right.
heavy hitters.
Where's
Like
that
Mario Kart
Dustbloods
is like
on launch day? Like that would have been huge. I'm
I
excited
was
for
gonna
that
say
game, and I can't even
that's
play it on launch day.
Mario Kart is the only one that I think is like has a broad appeal, like because all the adults and all the kids will play. Because all the adults are like, "Oh, I played all the original ones," and the kids will be like, "Oh, it's an awesome racing game with Mario." But the other ones, I'm like, maybe I can wait on it. Maybe wait for the OLED one as well. We'll see.
Yeah.
But that's funny.
I was like waiting for you to say something else there.
No, no, that's just it's funny. Like, oh man, the 5 launch titles, they're not the strongest for sure.
Yeah. I'm just gonna play in the background some of the like a compilation of some of the games that we've talked about here as we talk about a lot of the concerns that I have,
Yeah,
and some of these are gonna
controversy.
surprise some of these are gonna surprise you, JT. You were talking
Okay,
about we were talking about how cheap that online service is for the
okay.
Switch. Speaking of online services and all that stuff, so first of all, let's get the elephant out of the room for a lot of us that are aware of this right now. Nintendo has a huge scalping issue. Pretty much anything related to, honestly, like Game Freak, Pokemon, Nintendo at the moment is just, it's really, really bad. Like, as bad, if not bad, as when the PlayStation 5 launched and people were selling those things for like $800, $900 plus, you know? So,
Mm.
they have a workaround for pre-orders of the Switch 2 this time around. And I have some notes here. I don't think I have every single detail, so the finer details, I'll try to provide them on screen for anybody who's interested. But basically, the rundown is you will not be able to pre-order this console unless you have online membership status for the last 2 years continuously.
What?
As of
Okay.
yesterday, as of today,
All
yeah.
right.
So
All right. All
you
right.
and me, JT, cannot pre-order this console because you would have had to be. That's already a
Yeah, yeah.
filter. Another
Yeah, yeah.
filter. If you have been paying for Switch online services for 2 years, another thing that will filter you out from pre-ordering this console will be you need to have had a specific playtime on certain Nintendo games.
What?
Yeah, so like
Okay.
they didn't specify the playtime, and they even said it's a first come first serve basis based on how many hours you've sunk into Nintendo games specifically. So no third party games. So like if you played 1,000 hours of Pokemon and played online for 2 years continuously, you're gold, I guess. I don't know. That's just a guess, but maybe people have no life harder
Yeah.
than you and will get access to the Switch um, on release.
Wow, that is
It's
strange. Like I understand trying to combat the
yes,
scalping problem, but I think there are better
they
measurements
are,
to kind
yeah,
of do that.
they're definitely
Yeah.
going overboard with it, and there's a third filter. This is the third main filter. So on top of all of that, JT,
Yeah.
you also have had to not only done all both of those things, but also opted into the data collections and email messaging from
Oh
Nintendo
my
for those last two
oh my
years. So any data collection that Nintendo has asked you for, which I know a lot of people are very stingy on their privacy. I am one of those people. So even
yeah.
if you were a big longtime supporter of Nintendo, if you didn't check the box that said, "Oh yeah, you could just take my data and do whatever you want with it," you're also
Send me a ton of emails.
you're
Yeah.
also yeah, you're also exempt from this. So if you were a big fan, I can see this being a problem for you. Again, it's like,
Yeah.
really? And yes, I'm with you guys on the scalping thing. I'm also like really into Pokemon cards. My friend Kendrick is really into Pokemon cards. And it's really hard right now. Like the scalpers are crazy and they're ruining the fun for the rest of us, and they would have ruined the fun for us with Switch 2, but I think they went way too far
Overboard.
in the other direction with this.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, the best example of kind of combating that issue, I think, is to hate to bring Steam back up, but when Steam Deck was first coming out, I think their filters were fairly fair, but they were
fairly
pretty
fair.
fair. Because you needed to be a Steam user for a certain amount of time, and then you'd be able to pre-order it. Like, I mean, that was like the most that I can remember on the top of my head. Do you remember some of the other filters? I thought that was the big one,
No,
but
I wasn't really paying attention to it back then, but I do know about that one in particular.
yeah, it's like you need to have your Steam account for a little while, and you have to pre-order with
Yeah.
your Steam account logged in. And I'm like, oh, that's reasonable, you know. Like if you want actual people to own
Yeah.
the handheld, right?
Yes.
But this is doing the most.
There's
That's a
also
lot.
there's
That's a lot.
another thing. So after you pass all these filters, let's assume that you have passed all of these filters, JT. Let's assume that
Mhm.
you were a consumer that passed all three of these checks. You will be receiving an email, and I want everybody who watches this to be aware and maybe even mark your calendar. You'll be receiving an email before the Switch comes out. And it's different for everyone, right? It's first come first serve. So again, if you had no life Nintendo games more than others, you may get access earlier. I'm not
Yeah,
trying
yeah,
to crap on you, but this is basically how they're doing it. They're
yeah.
if you played more, you get access first. You'll get a coupon, right, with a code on it, emailed to you, and you have 72 hours when that email hits your inbox to pre-order your Switch. If you're outside of that window, you can't pre-order your Switch anymore, and you'll have to wait like the rest of us.
That is
So
nuts.
on top of
You,
hitting all these checks, they also have a 72-hour window where you just if you don't have the money, or if you have that bill that's coming up, or you got rent that's due, or like a kid's birthday party, you better be planning far in advance. I'm letting anybody know who has been watching this far in, plan in advance if you're planning on pre-ordering the Switch and having it day one, because
yeah,
you miss out on that
honest,
email, you're missing out on pre-order.
honestly, the first two steps of the filter process, I could have been like, okay, like that's not too bad. Like, yeah, it's not that good, but it's not terrible. But then when
Yeah.
you add the fact that you have to share all your info, and that you have to be notified about all of Nintendo's latest news, right?
Hmm.
That is kind of, that's what pushes it over for me, because you're getting a ton of Nintendo emails, and then you have to wait for another Nintendo email to have a shot on top of it being a random date that they can send you that notification. Like that's ridiculous. So, is there a lot of dislikes to the stream? Like, I mean, there's a lot of good news at the start, but I mean, this is pretty big.
I watched it live, so I didn't really I was more like hyped and
Yeah. Yeah,
like
yeah.
just trying to take notes for the pod today, because this was like we really wanted to get this through and out for all of you to
Yeah.
enjoy. So I didn't really check the like to dislike ratio, but
Oh, for sure, for
I
sure.
definitely I watched Young Yeah and Big Fry and another YouTuber I don't remember the name of, and even GameSpot mentioned like how egregious some of this stuff was. So it's definitely, it probably is affecting the overall reception of the direct. There was a lot of controversy here, and that was just the first of the other two things that we're gonna
Yeah,
get
and
into.
I think
And that was the least
honest.
egregious thing that we're gonna get into, guys. Just so everyone's aware.
Oh wow, okay,
Yeah,
that's crazy. But honestly, like for the pre-orders for the Nintendo Switch 2, I wouldn't even be worried too much because, like, what? You're gonna have to go through all of these hoops just to pre-order it, and then you only have, like, what? 1 or 2 decent launch titles, unless
right.
you're really gonna just get it for the GameCube stuff in the upfront, but it's like,
And the games
you
you
could
already
kinda
have
wait
on
on.
Switch One that you just want to play at
Correct.
higher frame rates.
Correct. You
Yeah,
can wait on that, honestly. Like,
yeah,
it's kinda like the Series X and the PS5, you didn't need to get them at launch, although I would argue that there were some pretty impressive games that came out with those, on launch,
true.
at least for the PlayStation, but Switch
Now,
is only Mario Kart, so
now for the pricing, I'm doing this off the top of my head. I don't know why I didn't have it noted, but I believe the Switch 2 will on release cost around $450.
okay, and alright, I don't
And
know I don't know how much the original Switch costed
yeah.
on
Oh, by the way, we're 45 minutes into the podcast, and it launches in June. By the way, for anybody who was wondering
Yeah, yeah,
when
yeah,
the
okay,
Switch 2
good.
is coming out.
Yeah,
Oh man,
June.
this
I
is
I
terrible. I'm
heard that it
terrible.
was this year. No, you're
I'm
good. I
assuming
heard it
if you're
was this
watching the
year.
pod, you
Right.
unlike JT, you probably are coming here from after watching the direct. I'm just gonna
Yeah.
assume.
And I purposely avoided it, everyone. I
Yes.
purposely avoided everyone so Justin can surprise me.
Yeah,
Also, I
yeah.
was
We
at
planned
work,
this.
so
We
I didn't
planned
really get
this.
to. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's around $450. It might be like 449. I might be a couple dollars off, but it's yeah, okay. June 5th starting at 449.99. So,
The original was 400?
I don't even remember cuz I bought the Switch Lite. I know how much my Switch Lite costs. It was
Yeah, the
like
Switch Lite was like only like less
yeah.
than
This is
200,
definitely I think it
250.
definitely costs more than the first Switch, but that makes sense cuz of all the upgrades you're getting.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah.
And that comes with the docking station, obviously.
Mhm.
It doesn't come with the GameCube controller. I think we brought that up. The GameCube controller sold separately, $75.
$75.
Yep.
Yep.
They're also this is like a small thing I just wanted to throw out there because it popped up in the compilation I have playing, but they're also adding like there's a webcam support. Oh, one thing I missed. One thing I missed. All right, we're gonna say one more good thing about the Switch 2.
Okay.
The controller has a button. It's a new button, small in the bottom right corner. It's a C button, and that C button is for game chat. So finally, a Switch launching with game chat. A
Oh,
Nintendo
cool.
product at all launching with game chat is kind of a big deal. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's kind of huge for Nintendo fans. I just missed that because it's a normal thing everywhere else in the gaming world. But congrats,
Yeah.
Nintendo fans! You can talk to your friends now on your Switch, and it's built into the controller. Congrats.
Yeah.
That sounds like a dig, but I'm really excited for you guys. It's cool. I
Yeah.
actually have to play like my friend Kendrick when we play Pokemon Unite. He has to like be on Discord. We can't just use the in-game thing, and he's on his phone
Mhm.
while playing. So he's probably really
Yeah.
stoked for that. I hope he's really stoked for that. That's cool. Okay, the worst thing of the night. The pricing of game cartridges. J Tizzle. Oh boy.
Wait, it's a different price than the digital purchase?
Yes. But
What? Okay.
that's how it is already for most things.
I
However,
mean, tax, maybe that might be the only
no, no,
reason.
no. Like pretty much even now, like most physical game copies cost like $10 more than their digital counterparts. That's how it's been
No, because I think
for
on
the last couple of years.
PlayStation, if you buy a PlayStation exclusive game, they're
Well,
$70
yeah,
flat.
yeah.
Like,
PlayStation just does that, but um, like I think Elden Ring is an example of like, yeah, you pay $10 less if you buy it on digitally.
are you sure? I thought it was $60, both. I'll double check,
I'm not
but
sure. I'm actually not sure. I know people were talking about it in comment sections
because I
about
was
how.
buying, I bought physical games pretty late into the PS5 Series X cycle, and I remember the prices being very
Yeah.
similar. But anyways, go
This
ahead,
this
go
isn't
ahead.
even the point. This isn't even the point I was trying
Okay,
to get to. The
okay.
the pricing of so this is specifically on the new Mario Kart game. The base price for this new Mario Kart World game, if you do not buy it in the bundle, is $80.
Oh my
The new Mario
gosh.
Kart game, the Mario Kart World is $80 out the box, Or if you get your Switch 2 bundled with the Mario Kart game, the bundle is $500. So you get your Switch 2 for $449 and you get the Mario Kart game for 50.
Ooh,
So they're
total ass.
basically, yeah, they're basically selling it as like, oh, you get $30. You pay base price for a Mario Kart game if you buy it bundled with the Switch 2, or you can get screwed and buy your regular Switch, and then if you want the Mario Kart game, you gotta pay $80. Yeah, that's
We're out of bundles. Too bad. You got to pay
yeah,
the extra money.
yeah, it's ridiculous. And something that GameSpot brought up that I want to address right now. We try not to get political on this podcast. I'm not going to get political, but I just wanted to say GameSpot claimed that it was because of the tariff, but Nintendo, the tariffs that are imposed by the current administration, but Nintendo produces their cartridges, their game cartridges in country. And so you might be able to make that argument for like some third party games that have their cartridges produced in affected countries. But
Yeah.
Nintendo produces their cartridges in Uji, Japan. So and they're not being tariffed. So this
Yeah.
price change is
Interesting.
just Nintendo doing it. They're not trying to like subvert anything. The prices won't come down if the tariffs were there or not there. So
Wait,
anybody,
GameSpot was reporting it inaccurately, or
yes.
they?
Well, I wouldn't say they were
Oh.
reporting it inaccurately. They were reacting
Oh.
to it live, and one of the guys was kind of being like, "This is because of the tariffs. It's because
Oh,
Mexico
okay, gotcha.
makes
They were,
game cartridges." Like he was
yeah, they were
he
just
was being
speculating. Yeah,
factual,
yeah,
but I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
think they realized that Nintendo game cartridges specifically. So games like Mario Kart and Pokemon, anything that's like published by Nintendo, they make their cartridges in house. So the
Gotcha.
tariff
Okay.
wouldn't affect specifically Nintendo games, and this specific instance is a Nintendo game, so they're raising this price arbitrarily. They really
Mm.
are, and I just wanted to make that apparent for anybody who's trying to like subvert and maybe even defend Nintendo here. They're pricing it to price out the tariff. No, they're doing this. They're doing this.
On their own.
Yeah, on their own to screw you over, Loki. I honestly feel like they're doing it because they feel like they can get more out of more people to buy this bundle. and
Yeah,
and also screw people that aren't getting the bundle. Because why not just make the game 50? It's a Mario Kart game, guys. It's not even like
I know.
it's not even like a
Yeah,
mainline. I don't want to say this to sound offensive, but it's not a mainline Mario game. Mario Kart games are technically spin-offs from the main series. Like, and
yeah,
you want me to pay $80 out the gate? And I was telling you the beginning of this pod, like I'm probably still gonna bite, which is sad because
yeah.
like they really sold this game to me, but this is not an $80 title.
I don't know
Most
about
games
day
aren't.
one.
Yeah,
Maybe I could. I mean, Switch games, they go on sale way later into their life cycle, which is
yeah.
unfortunate because they sell so well. But yeah, as far as Switch 2 on day one, I might be a little bit of a pass for me personally. But yeah, no, that's crazy. $80?
Yeah.
That's
So
and not even
expect
PlayStation and Xbox have the audacity to
everybody
do
was
that.
kind of joking around that GTA 6 out the box would be $100, and now that's not looking like a joke. You're
No,
about to pay
honestly,
$80. You're about to pay $80 for Mario Kart. You really think they're not going to charge $100+ for GTA 6?
no, so I was looking into that, and while I do believe it might be 100 or $90 or whatever, what I read was saying that Grand Theft Auto might do that, right? And they might be able to get away with it because it's the most anticipated game in what, a decade. Um, they can get away with it, but they were saying that other companies would be dumb to follow suit because not all, yeah, obviously other games wouldn't sell nearly as well as Grand Theft Auto. So
Yep.
yeah, Grand Theft Auto might do that, but it might not set a precedent like some people might think because not every game company could do that. They
Yes.
could
But
barely sell
Nintendo
games
doing
at,
this with a Mario Kart game definitely is trying to set the precedent.
yeah,
And
that is scary
and
because it
they're
could
also
actually
going to
work.
set the precedent
It
in
could work.
both ways because they're going to bundle this
Yeah,
together, and they may even get more sales out of Mario Kart from this bundle, and other companies are going to pick up on that and be like, you know what,
yeah,
maybe we could try to scalp more money out of our consumers by including more stuff in bundles that isn't actually that price. There's a whole thing here
yeah,
where it's like the game is probably actually worth $50, but they're
right.
trying
And
they're trying to get that
yeah,
extra 30 out of you. And you know what? You know what's even
yeah.
crazier about this, JT? Even crazier. The next controversy I have that it bounces directly off of this whole thing. I don't know if you're ready or if you have another comment. But
No, I was just gonna say that it's scary that they're setting that precedent, right? But
yeah.
also, what's also scary is that it could work because Nintendo sells a ton of
Yep.
games and a ton of hardware.
And
So if it is gonna work, that would be the one to
a
do.
bunch of normies, like we went over this when we talked about Assassin's Creed Shadows in our last episode that is going to be
Recorded by,
uploaded
yeah.
after this episode.
After this,
Yeah.
it's weird. Yeah,
But
okay.
just so you
Yeah,
guys know, we talked about this when it came to Assassin's Creed Shadows. Like even with all the controversy, normal people just aren't really paying attention to the whole like internal politics of like this
yeah,
whole situation. Like a lot of
mhm,
mainstream, like a lot of big gamers are like me and JT
yeah,
or many of the people watching here. You know, your average mom and pop are just gonna be like, oh well, everything else is expensive. It would make sense that the new Mario Kart for my grandson is gonna be expensive. You know what I mean? Like they're
yeah. They'll
so
buy it
many
blindly.
people are going to buy this. Many people.
Yeah,
Just as many
it's
people
like,
bought
yeah.
Assassin's Creed. Just as many people are going to buy GTA no matter what it costs. It's one of those games that is too big to fail.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to like defend GTA, but like GTA is a big game. It's been worked on for so long. So if one game had to cost $100,
Yeah,
okay, GTA, right? And again, I don't think a lot of people would follow suit because they know it wouldn't work.
yeah.
Hell, they couldn't even sell Concord for $70, and that was a very expensive PS5 exclusive. You know what I
Not
mean? So people no, they can't do
yeah.
that.
Not
But
to
with the
divert
Switch, yeah,
super crazily, but like one of
yeah,
the big
yeah,
reasons indie games are popping off right now is also not just because indie games are doing really well, like in terms of direction and design, but also because
yeah.
they're the affordable game. And you know,
Yes.
like you're
Yeah.
getting better bang
Yeah.
for buck. Like Split Fiction was
Yeah.
49 bucks, 39 49
Yeah.
bucks. And that
Yeah.
game is like triple A quality,
Quality.
you
Yeah.
know? So it's like
Yeah.
at this point, like just ah, stop buying
Yeah.
stuff.
I'm a little worried. I know. I'm a little
Speak with
worried.
your wallet, guys, and I know that it's kind of just like a tired trope at this point, but
Yeah.
we can't let these guys
Exactly.
win. They're just going to keep pricing up and up and up. And I wanted to dive into this last thing. This is the last point I have. It feeds right off of the pricing of game cartridges. So not only JT are you paying $80 for games potentially, but
Okay.
also when you buy these games, these cartridges, it doesn't even include the game on the cartridge.
Oh my
Does
god.
that
Is it? Yeah.
surprise you? What
So
I just said there?
So you put the cartridge in, and then it tells the Switch, "Hey, you could download it." Is that what
Nope.
that is?
That's what it would be normally if you had like a cartridge. Well, maybe you are explaining it that in a way that works in your head, but let me just tell you exactly what it does. So when you pay $80 for this new Mario Kart game, you're going to
Yeah.
get a cartridge. That cartridge is
Okay.
going to be blank. It doesn't actually have a game on it.
Yeah.
You will then insert that cartridge into your Switch 2, and it will have a game code. You then go to the online store. So you have to have that $20 Switch online subscription to access this online store, right?
Yeah.
And then you can download your new Mario Kart game while having this cartridge inserted, and the cartridge automatically basically like inputs the key, basically saying like, yes, I am the owner of this cartridge. And then you download the game onto your physical Switch, and then the cartridge is bunked. You don't need it anymore. It's just the game. It's just
Yeah.
the key.
Yeah, that was what I was trying to kind of explain
Yeah,
because they've done that in the past where it's like you put the disc into your Xbox, for example,
yeah,
and then it I think they did it with Star Wars Jedi Survivor where part of the game is on the disc, but then the rest is like downloaded from like the online. And I'm like,
yeah,
what's the point? What's the point of physical media then? It's
yeah.
so and then also on top of you need to always be online, like how much BS that is, right? But that's
And then
insane.
the concerns that I brought up earlier, like, okay, well, if digital is cheaper than physical, why would I ever buy physical? Because I'll just buy from the store directly. And then another thing is what happens if the Switch 2, I know this is a long way out, you're predicting like far into the future. What if the Switch 2
Yeah.
goes the way of the 3DS store, where the
Mhm.
online service is terminated and now you lose access to everything that you've
Yeah.
invested into the Switch too?
Yeah.
Which also includes, by the way, you bought these physical copies because maybe you were trying to hedge against like, oh well, I remember when they disabled the 3DS store, and there's some stuff on there that is inaccessible to this day. There are some side games for Pokemon, some things that are exclusive content that you just cannot access anymore without hacking your system,
It's tragic.
right? And so like
Yeah.
in the far future, 20, 30 years from now, when the Switch 2 store is inevitably shut down, It's like a ticking time
Mhm.
bomb. And you have these physical cartridges that are also just useless because they're just game codes for games that don't exist anymore. It's actually
Yeah.
insane. It's
Yeah,
insane.
video game preservation is like a really big deal, and I
Yeah.
kind of found out about it watching Game Ranks and Jake Baldino how important it is. Like they highlight it a lot, and I can see why because
Yeah.
this exact reason that you're bringing up that has been an issue for the Xbox and the PlayStation for these past couple years because some of their new hardware is going to be digital only. So not even having the option of a disc is crazy, but when you have the option of these cartridges and they don't do jack is
Yes.
really concerning.
And I know some people out there might say like, well, Steam is digital only, it's a digital storefront, but you can also play all of your games as long as they're not live service games completely offline. Like if Steam services died tomorrow, you still technically have access to your games as long as you have access to your account. So like
Yeah,
and you can also just download your games off of Steam and then like have their files like the Steam common data files like put onto a separate hard drive and as long as you have access to that you can have access to your games as if it was a physical copy. So like there
yeah.
are it's still digital, yes, but it's like there are fail safes in case
Mhm.
if Steam went out of business tomorrow, you would not lose access to the majority of your titles, unless
Yeah,
the publisher itself is like for example like X Defiant, like obviously you can't play that anymore because the servers are down, they're gone.
yeah,
But
yeah,
technically like my Fallout New Vegas isn't going anywhere, even though it's just a
yeah.
digital copy.
Yeah, see that for those, those would be the like the live service games,
Yeah.
but yeah, 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 the single player, the stuff, yeah, yeah, you
I
own,
just
yeah,
can't
yeah,
believe you're paying $80 for a cartridge that's just a key card. And then like one thing that came up that I don't know is true, this is just speculation, but somebody was saying like so if you activate that key card, right, on your game, is it locked to that Switch account? So then like let's say I want to sell like let's say this game sucks. Like let's say Mario Kart World sucks and I want to resell it to somebody for like $30, get some of my money back. Can I not
yeah,
do that because the code is attached to my account? So reselling is
yeah,
also maybe affected by this, which is like I know we talked about scalpers and like trying to stop scalpers, but like reselling of old games, like again, we're 20 years down the line. Some of these games may become relics of a past, and like that you were talking about games preservation. Like,
yeah,
are we
scary.
just are we just not gonna be able to transfer these? Like, I can't just even if I wanted to give it out for free. Like, I don't want this game anymore. I'm gonna give it to my little brother. Can you even do
Yeah,
that? Because it's locked to your
yeah.
account. It's over. It's
Seemingly
over.
seemingly yeah, I know. Seemingly not, unfortunately, you're not gonna be able to do that. This is, yeah, really concerning. A lot of red flags at the end of this episode,
Yeah.
unfortunately, but, there's some, some highlights to look forward to, like, the AAA games coming over to the Switch 2, an exclusive from Soft game. That's
Yeah.
exclusive games, Xbox, they gotta, you know
Lots of
throwing a
positives.
random
Lots of
yeah,
positives.
throwing a random shot at Xbox, but, exclusive games matter, Xbox, whether you like it or not, unfortunately, because that's huge. So,
Mhm.
um, yeah, no, what do you think about the Direct? Are you more positive about it, middle,
As a
negative?
gamer, I'm really excited for Nintendo fans. I'm really excited for you guys. I'm really excited that like your stuff is coming up to par more with the other consoles in that are in the market right now. And I'm really glad that you guys are getting exclusives. Like I'm one of those people that's like actually kind of anti-exclusive, but it's just really cool to see like Nintendo standing up for itself a little bit because it for a long
Yes.
time in the industry they've been the ones to be like, okay, we're gonna lock everyone else out of the industry. But now it seems like they're
Yeah.
inviting a lot of people in, and I think it's okay for them if they're gonna invite a lot more games in and a lot more gamers in and have a lot more accessibility. Like I think it's okay for them to have a few more exclusives here and there. Like
Yeah, don't
I
get me
want
wrong, like, I don't wanna try
I
to
want a
sound
little
like
bit
I'm a
of
g
both.
yeah. I don't wanna try to sound like I'm a gatekeeper, but it's important to have some exclusive games. It's important to have a reason
Yes.
to go and stick with the platform of choice, you know what I
Yes.
mean? Otherwise, it's like, why not go to somewhere else where they're offering some better incentives,
Right.
and exclusives
Why buy a
are
Switch
means
2 when
that
you have a Steam
yeah,
Deck? Well,
exactly.
Duskbloods
Well,
is the thing.
now it's Duskbloods, yeah, and Metroid Prime 4, dude. I don't I'm not even like the biggest Metroid guy because I like I said, I'm not the biggest Nintendo product owner, but that's a big game that looks awesome. Sci-fi first person. So and it's Samus. So, you know,
Yeah.
but for me personally speaking, just from what you've been telling me and what I've seen from some video clips, it's exciting. There's a lot to look forward to, a lot of stuff to be concerned about. Uh, my big thing is like, I think a lot of people should wait, and I think a lot of people could wait
Yeah.
because the starting lineup isn't that strong, and then the bundles and the pricing, and then the fact that the cartridge system that's a big red flag for me. So I'm kind of curious. Like I think a lot of people should wait.
Yeah, I think we need
Will
more
people wait? I don't
details
know.
on the cartridging. We need more
Yeah,
details on pricing. Like maybe it'll just be Mario Kart. But it definitely does set a bad precedent. Many other games could end up going the $80 route. For now it is just
yeah,
Mario Kart World.
yeah,
But yeah, there's
yeah,
like there's a lot of things to be excited for. I want to end off on a good note. Like any GameCube
yeah,
fans out there, like yeah, all that stuff's
yeah,
coming. All that stuff's coming.
yeah,
I saw Pokemon Coliseum in there. I know some of my Coliseum friends are gonna be really excited for that. Like man, what an oldie.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, third party games, uh, actual Nintendo games, the new Pokemon game. Like there's a lot to be excited for.
Yeah, and it'll be a good competitor to the Steam Deck because I love the Steam Deck, and there's other PC handhelds, but uh, it's nice to have some competition
Yeah,
because that just iron sharpens iron, as they say.
yeah.
So, but with that, I think that concludes our latest episode. And I kind of said it in the beginning, but I meant to be a little bit more clear. But I might have said episode 7 in our latest gaming news. So please disregard that in the next episode because this one is coming out before. So
Yeah.
whenever I do the intros, I'm no longer
Like a
numbering it. So that way, yeah, yeah, yeah,
let's I'll
in
do a
case we release
full
it
I'll do a
different
full
ways.
explanation here so you can put this in like a short or something. But for anybody still watching, JT here is actually traveling to Japan soon, so we're trying to knock out like a couple of episodes so we have stuff to upload for you guys while he's out of town. So that's why we're kind of doing a lot of stuff out of order, including like the Switch 2 Direct just happened to fall on today after we already recorded another episode. The schedule is just really full right now, so bear with us. There's gonna be some mistakes here and there in terms of like how we present things to you. It'll be a little bit out of order, but we'll come back to
Yeah,
like
we're
we'll come back once JT's back in town.
No, it's gonna be a lot of fun. We'll have some stuff lined up for when I am gone. Well said, Justin. Perfectly said. But there's a lot of fun stuff that we have in the works. Can't wait to talk more games with you, of course, as well as some guests that we might have in the near future.
Oh
So
yeah, I'm excited for that. We got
yeah,
some
yeah,
surprises for the
I
boys.
know, right? I'm excited for that too. So with that, thank you guys so much for watching/listening, and we'll see you in the next one.
Later.